My name is Grant. I'm from Cape Town, South Africa, and this is my wife Stef. We've been married for 6 months now. We minister in a church called St. Luke's. It's on the Cape Flats in Cape Town.
I was really fortunate and blessed to have grown up in a Christian home. My parents were Christians before I was born, and they told me about Jesus from a very young age. We would have story time and devotions, Bible time together as a family in the evenings after supper. So my whole life I knew about Jesus, and they tell me about him growing up at the same church my entire life, going all the way through. So there wasn't an exact date when I became a Christian, but it was a very gradual growing knowledge of my relationship with Jesus and who Jesus is and what that would mean for me in my life. So I came to the realization that I had to make my parents' faith my own faith and take a responsibility or ownership of Christianity and their religion, but make it real for me. And I became friends with Jesus, closer friends with Jesus as I grew up, as I got older. Or even for an example, understanding grace and different aspects of the gospel as I got older, and how that changed my knowledge of him and my relationship with him. So understanding grace, I say, as a 5-year-old, and then more of it as an 8-year-old, more of it as a 13-year-old, and how that played out specifically in my life and what I was going through with non-Christian friends at school. And so it was really just a blossoming and growing in my relationship with Jesus.
How I came to know the Lord is very different from my wife. I actually grew up on the Cape Flats and lived pretty reckless life. I was like what they call a menace to society, got involved in gangs and got just caught up in a whole lot of crime, and was in prison, in and out of prison for a couple of crimes that I committed, and then came out of prison. And I guess my whole ambition in life was just to be the super thug. Gangsterism is quite big here on the Cape Flats where I'm from, so I got caught up in that from a very young age, and that really impacted my life. I guess 8 years ago, after coming out of prison, I just got caught up in the gang culture again, this time selling drugs. I think back home where you guys, they call it crystal meth. Where we're from, we call it tick. Got caught up in that, and later on started getting high on my own supply, and then basically lost everything. I found myself later on in life homeless with nowhere to go. And 8 years ago I went back to my mom's place because my mom had thrown me out when I was 16 years old. She had to make a really tough call when I was younger because she saw the changes that was happening in my life. A single parent home as well. She had to make a really tough call because I have a younger sister, and so she threw me out. Fast forward back to that moment 8 years ago. I was just tired of living this life, the lifestyle that I lived, and I went back to my mom and asked for a place to stay. And she had a Honda Ballard car. Show you guys back home. You aware what Hondas are, but so a pretty old, broken down car. She said she gave me the opportunity to sleep in the car. I can remember the car wasn't running at all. There were holes in the roof. But my mom graciously put a blanket, pillow in the car, and it's the second night in that car. That's when it all happened. It all went down that second night. I remember feeling so hopeless. I remember. And it was just such a crazy time. There were guys out to kill me, and because I owed them money for drugs. And I just remember feeling so hopeless and that I was gonna die. And every time when I thought there was no hope, something in me just said, Jesus saves, Jesus saves, Jesus saves. I started remembering stuff I learned in Sunday school. I remember one of the Sunday school teachers, they used to delve it into us. They said, if you put your trust in Jesus, he'll become your friend. You can have a friendship with him. And at that time, I realized that I was a sinner, and I needed Jesus. And I prayed in the car, and that's when I came to know Jesus, and he changed everything. For us, following Jesus means just total abandonment, seeing him as worth abandoning your life for, because I think something definitely in our circles, though, the one thing that's been the message of following Jesus I feel has been a little bit watered down. People don't speak about the cost of following Jesus, and throughout scripture you see crowds, huge crowds following Jesus, and Jesus, in fact, in Luke's gospel actually has to look at the crowds that are following him and say, look, I'm actually heading to the cross. that's where I'm going. If you want to follow me, that's actually where I'm going. And so you just get this amazing picture of people traveling with Jesus but not actually following him. And I think there's such a huge difference that the Lord has taught us both between traveling with Jesus and actually following him. So following Jesus to us means giving our lives to him and saying, you know what, Lord, here's our lives, here's a blank check. Wherever you go, we'll go. Whatever you want us to do, we'll do. Our lives is not our own anymore. So I think that's what it means. What it means for us to follow Jesus. And it's not even in the sense where we're making any sacrifices, and that's the weird thing for us. I think it's just seeing him as worthy, as worth it. I mean, treasuring him above everything. And that doesn't come from ourselves, so we constantly asking the Lord to continuously to shape our thinking and our hearts and just stir up a love for him. And I think the Lord has graciously just answered our prayer where that's concerned and just stirred up new affection for him. I think even for Stef and I, you guys know Bruno Mars. He sings as this one song, I'll catch a grenade for you. And that just speaks out, man, I'll die for Stef. I'm willing to die for, I'm willing to catch a grenade for her. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. But I mean just that willingness to actually say, you know what, I'll die for Stef. I think that's what Jesus was on about. He's like, you know, as followers of Jesus, we definitely have to have that saltiness, that flavor, if you like, just that willingness to go all the way with him. Because that's the type of followers that Jesus wants. He wants followers that are willing to die for this thing. At the moment we've been serving on the Cape Flats, but kind of just been driving into the community where we serve, and we just feel that the Lord's leading us to actually move into one of these communities now, to just to love on people in those communities. Yeah, the communities are full of gangsterism, like loads of gangsters, so it's pretty dangerous. Drug use, huge, poverty as well. So it's really like slums, like back home it's like you guys must probably know it as the ghetto, the hood, you know. So it's those type of communities. So that's the type of community we're moving into now. We just feel the Lord leading us and say, you know what, like guys, just go for it. So we're excited about this, and it's such a joy for us to go there and just to be a part of God's mission. We don't feel like we're giving. The weird thing is, like, both of us, we don't feel as though we're giving up anything. You don't feel like as though we're giving up anything. I think this is just like, it's our joy to go there. So we're fully aware of the dangers. But yeah, it's just knowing that that's exactly where God wants us to go. And I mean, like, even concerning this mission, God assures us though that He'll be with us. So we might not exactly know how things are going to play out, but we definitely know who we're with, and so we just hold on to that promise.
So obviously totally agree with that answer. I think it's a great answer. Just to add, for us, following Jesus and going into this community is taking risks for Him, and not being worried about security and safety and being sheltered and making a home for yourself and collecting possessions like the world would have you to do. And also letting Him carry you and take you in every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
So following Him in every decision, listening to Him and obeying Him as you feel He's telling you what to do in every aspect of your life. And I almost want to say involving Him in your decisions, but it's not that, because we're shepherd-led and we're listening to Him and He's leading us, and we're just going to follow. Yeah.